Hello, adventurers, and welcome back to another installment in the Legend of Kelamentura Settlement Breakdown series. In this video, I'm going to do a settlement breakdown on Mentura, which is the political slash religious capital of the Council of Mentura, the continent of Mentura. Yeah. Listen, when you're doing your own homebrew world, there's only so many times you can come up with an original name. Eventually, it's like, oh, the continent's Mentura, the capital's Mentura, the council's the Council of Mentura. Shut up, leave me alone. Um, yes, as per the last couple of videos, I've still got a bit of a cold and everything else, so I am sure I sound fantastic. Uh, I'm sure I sound a bit more like Otis Redding or Corpse, depending on what side, depending on your taste in music. Oh, poison here. Anyhow, apologies in advance for how the terrible sound, or maybe you're sticking your headphones on, listening to this, and thinking that, oh, he sounds quite nice today. In which case, you're welcome. Raspy voice. Welcome to Legend of Kelamentura. Welcome to the Legend of Kelamentura ASMR. Oh, if you're gonna be sick, you might as well have fun with it. Anyway, like I said, settlement breakdown. So this time we are talking about Mentura, which is a large city, kind of slap bang in the middle of the continent, but population approximately 50,000. That's approximate. Of course, we say population. That's the people who tend to live and work there all the time. The actual amount of people you'll find in Mentura is always a lot higher than that because it is the religious capital. So you're always going to find pilgrims. There's always festivals on the go. There's always a lot of pilgrims or people just tourists type thing. So it's always fairly busy, the city. To such an extent that the legions of the Manchurians. I apologize for that. The crowds can swell to such a degree that the council actually calls in at least one, maybe more, of their legions to help police the streets during festivals, as my party found out. So, sitting atop the Spine Mountains, occupying a mesa created during the visitation of the Pure Ones, lies the city of Mentura, the site of the council chambers and the Grand Parthenon, a beautiful temple that encompasses the ground upon which the Pure Ones first stood when they visited their followers in Kelamentura. Viewed from above, the city is roughly hexagonal in shape, with a circular building in the centre of the hexagon. This central structure houses the council chambers and the Grand Parthenon, and the city surrounding it is divided into six districts, one for each member of the pantheon. Within each of the districts of Mentura are temples to a specific member of the pantheon, along with a number of businesses that attend to the needs of the pilgrims who travel to Mentura all year round. Each district has its own grand temple, which is considered to be the highest temple to that member of the pantheon. Each of these grand temples also serves another purpose. For example, the Grand Temple of Katsia houses the Supreme Courts of Mentura, where the highest cases of the land are heard, including crimes committed against the council and any scourge worshippers who were captured alive or tried here. While each district and the temples, both grand and otherwise, are unique to the god that is worshipped there, every temple shares in one design feature. A gleaming spire of metal and glass that reaches up from the highest point of the temple into the sky, with the tallest of these being atop the Grand Parthenon. Each of these spires represents those who follow the Pure Ones, reaching out to their gods for guidance and strength. And there are a number of religious festivals that occur throughout the year, but there's always games and contests in each district for the followers of the Pure Ones to prove themselves. Pause for coffee. So yeah. I do also have a description of each of the. I didn't read this out during the episode, the session. I forgot to. But what I did do was, for the party's arrival in Mentura, the party came in from the south. There's a couple of roads, like four main roads into, so northeast, south, and west into Mentura. Party came in from the south. So once they actually followed the road up, stabled their wagon, and then made their way into the city proper, this is what they were met with. I'm just going to read out the descriptions. On the far side of the city, you can see several large, imposing stone buildings, each one topped with a figure wearing a helmet that covers their face, wielding only an axe in one hand and a set of scales in the other, a common avatar of Arakale. Oh boy. Sorry, my throat's really going here. Can I pull it? Yes, I can. Hang on. Apologies if I had to go and cough up a lung there. So yes, the far side is the district of Arakale, one of the gods of justice. Oh god. I've just realized I made a mistake in my description there because I talked about Ketsia having the Supreme Courts. That should be Arakale. Anyway. To the right of Arakale's district, you see what appears to be a barely tamed wilderness with massive trees and swathes of what looks to be swamps scattered throughout. There are no obvious statues at this distance, but you recognize the influence of Torbear when you see it. Next to this, you see a very organized section of the city, sparring arenas, practice ranges, and a large stone circular structure in the center of it all. At the highest point of the structure, you see a magnificent metallic statue, an individual in full plate armor, sans helmet, with the warhammer raised triumphantly above their head, and the other arm held out as a perch for a hawk with wings outstretched. Those in the party know this to be the avatar of Baradoon. Shut up. The area closest to you, at the base of the cliffs, seems jumbled and disorganized by comparison. There are a number of sandy fighting pits dotted around, which, even from your vantage point, you can see are stained with crimson. As you scan the streets, you don't notice any guard patrols, but you swear you see hooded figures half hidden in the shadows. But whenever you think you see one, you blink and they've melted into the darkness. But you also see brightly coloured streamers and bunting hung all over this district, which you know to belong to Artur. On your left, as you look down the cliff, you can see dozens of chimneys, some small, some large, belching smoke and ash into the sky, although some unseen force seems to channel these collective streams of smoke into a single column that just ends in the middle of the air. You also hear the rhythmic tapping of hammers and see several grand carvings of a man wearing a leather apron and a belt adorned with all manner of tools. This is Faldir's ward. And finally, the last ward is an odd mix of architectural styles, some that are familiar, the familiar Menturian style, and some that are alien to most of you, save those who have travelled overseas. These are the great embassies of the dynasty and the Republic, and their outlying buildings. There are also multiple large structures with an emerald cross on all sides, the widely used symbol for a healing house. This mixture of buildings can only belong to Katsia's ward. So yeah, I made a mistake earlier in the recording. It was my previous. So I talked about the Grand Temple of Ketsia housing the Supreme Court. That's the Grand Temple of Arakale. Ketsia is the god of charity and whatever. Arakale is the god of justice. This is what happens when you don't proofread your notes. God damn it. Anyway. And finally, where all the wards converge, though, is a truly breathtaking sight. An enormous dome structure that glistens impossibly bright, topped with a single spire that extends hundreds of feet, punching into the sky over the city. Around this dome are a number of magnificent marble structures that you recognize as the grand temples of the Pure Ones, each one bearing its own spire, and you now realize every temple or religious building is topped with a glittering spire, and there are dozens scattered across each ward. So yeah, that's my spiel on Mentura. Don't have a map for that one, unfortunately. I did have a map for if you saw my video on Terran. I did have a map drawn out for that. Terran and Mentura, viewed from above, would be roughly similar, although Terran is more distinct wards. Mentura only has the 6, as I described there. Oh god. It's cold as kicking my ass. Anyway, Mentura, yeah, that's the settlement breakdown for Mentura. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I certainly am enjoying talking about this type of thing. And as you can probably tell, the party are in Mentura at the moment. They're probably going to be there for another few days, but they've already seen this, so this isn't anything new that the party don't know. So happy with that, and I'm going to call it there to save my voice, chest, and respiratory organs from further damage. Oh god, I hate colds. Anyway, until next time, adventurers. I hope you keep happy and well and safe. And yeah, until next time. See ya.